Howdy, so we are going to be chatting about this stupid ass video and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. Um I just want to premise this video with the fact that Drew Barrymore is in a really unique position. You know, 99.9% of women in the world are not in a position like hers. Um So just keep that in mind, but I'm gonna explicate on quite a few things in this vid, and we're gonna watch it. Sorry, I forgot to make it go fast because I fucking hate this shit. I can barely handle it. Okay.
So happy to meet you. Thrilled to meet you. I really am. This is, it's very personal for me in a world where we're all trying to figure out who we're supposed to be. The risk.
How is it very personal for Drew to meet someone like Dylan Mulvaney? I'm rather confused there because how are they alike? Like, yeah, she was blown up at one point, but in a completely different era, under completely different circumstances, at a completely different age than him for totally different reasons. And he's just, okay, whatever.
Yes, bravery. Oh my gosh, I had no idea how vulnerable I was even willing to get. And
you can see, that's not his real hair. I think the only portion of his hair that's real is that middle section right there. This right there, that with the little part, that's fake. That's not his real hair. Oh, this little part under his ear, that's probably his real hair. But this entire hair piece and the entire like ponytail are all both fake because this is not how far a real woman's, excuse me, a real man's hair goes. So they put that little hair piece on for him. I'm sure his hair took quite a while.
That day one video that I made, it was kind of supposed to be a comedy video because I think coming outs can be so intense, and I kind of wanted to add some humor. I think that we can all learn through comedy. I think you can relate. It's my lifeline. Now,
I've talked about this before, honestly, and it really bothers me that Dylan Mulvaney is comparing something like coming out as a homosexual male to coming out as a man who's an autogynephile. Coming out as a man who enjoys dressing like a woman. Like, those two things are not the fucking same.
I do think that there was so much that came up this year that I had no idea that I was going to have to figure out in womanhood and vulnerable things that I didn't even know were there. Well, let me ask you, is it true that Laverne Cox, you met her, but what she said to you wasn't what I thought she was going to say to you? What was it? She said to keep some things private for myself, and I couldn't.
Laverne Cox is your typical trans-trender who's famous.
Agree more in the way that there were a few moments this year where I was like, was I actually ready to say that? But now, since meeting her and having that moment, I go, okay, what would Laverne do? And I actually have stopped myself from making a few videos
I don't know, bro. Were you actually ready to cut your dick off?
to make sure that I was actually
He still has it.
ready to talk about those things. And how does it feel? Has that wisdom guided you in ways that you're glad you heard it, or you're still figuring that out? Still figuring it out, but I think back to my childhood self, and I think about.
This is a lot like what I was kind of referring to in my recent video. I'm kind of blanking on the title right now, but the blue one where I'm brushing Buttercup. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Is talk shows like this, people say and do the exact same shit. It's the exact same banter. It's almost like a Mad Lib. You can just, trade out a few words, a few key phrases, and it's the exact same as a different talk show that's already happened 50 plus other times.
I was following myself on TikTok as a young kid. What would I want to hear? Or so much of my audience is a younger demographic, and I sort of would love to show trans.
Yeah, okay, that's so fucked up. So much of my audience is a younger demographic. Unless you're someone like Steve Burns or that gal who did the clown show, I forget, or that guy Blippy. I don't know these people now, y'all. I don't have young children, nor am I a young child, but I'm saying there are shows specifically geared towards preschoolers, that adults don't really watch. So, of course, someone like Blippy is going to have a very young fan base. I would be worried about a young fan base that's following somewhat freak like Dylan Mulvaney.
In a way that we haven't seen it before, because I figured when I came out that I might have to go into hiding and then do all my surgeries privately and change my name, and I instead decided, hey, let me see if the world is willing to accept me this way from day one, and they did.
No, he wanted the fame. y'all can see very clearly if you look back far enough. You can find pictures and videos of him as a younger man and sometimes a boy. He actually did this he did this concert in his underwear, I think at 17, which is very questionable, but there were a bunch of adults facilitating that, and there's video footage of it. So this is very, very, very fucking clearly just someone who wants fame and recognition, and him pretending to be a woman accomplished that for him.
And you actually have some really supportive, interesting followers. I'm just going to kick it off with Lady Gaga. Oh my gosh, I love her. I mean, I had the Born This Way ball like poster on my wall, and now she every video there's like a little something from her. And
it's really not a big deal if you're a famous person and some other famous person is following you. But okay.
I can't wait to meet her. That's the best part. I will say there's so much hatred and drama, and just things get convoluted. But getting to meet my role model.
Hatred and drama. Is being critical of someone hating them? Like, is saying, hey, I'm very interested to know what this person's motives are because they are not clear. Is that the same as saying this person fucking sucks and I hate them forever and they should go live in a hole in the wilderness? No, they're not.
Girls, even you today is like, it's the best part, not gonna lie. Let me ask you about the negativity. How have you dealt with it? And what's an approach you take? What's your self-talk? What do you filter? Yes, how do you? I still read the comments, but there's so much hatred directed at the trans community right now. It's everywhere. And
okay, it's not hatred. People are finally starting to come to their senses, and I don't blame anyone for hating something, especially someone, especially like male transgenders, especially Tims. Everyone should hate Tims, honestly, because they're perverts. It's pretty obvious. They're perverts, they're out of it, they're crazy, they're delusional. Like, obviously, not all of them are like that, obviously, but it's a concern.
I think the greatest weapon that I can contribute is trans joy in comedy and talking about hard, subjects and
nice Adam's apple, bro. Very visible.
Really intricate moments of a transition and try to let everybody in to see that, I'm not a monster. I'm not somebody that, is trying to do anything but
look at his man hands.
Be myself and be happy.
Yeah, we get the handmaidens to clap. Look at Drew. Look at her face.
Love ya. Thank you, everybody, for that.
Love ya.
Support. How do you stay on your own path? Where do you draw boundaries? Where do you find the strength to keep being the joy? Well, I think
I actually quite like Drew's outfit. I think it's great, aside from the fucking stupid ass heels that are entirely pointless and bad for us. Why the fuck would you wear heels to sit down on a talk show? I don't know.
Having my chosen family and the people that I love to take care of me, but I also think there's
okay, let's talk about chosen family for a moment here. This is something that I hear a lot from the transgender, even gay community, and like I find it disturbing, honestly, because like here's the thing though. So say you have an immediate family, you grow up, you're an adult, and then maybe you get a spouse, right? You no longer live with your parents, you no longer live with your immediate family. Maybe you live with your wife or your husband, right? Or you're going to live with your wife or your husband. You choose your partner, right? You choose to date and be with that person. So isn't that your quote unquote chosen family? The clock agrees. It is. Is like, but I'm just saying, like, these people who make these, who have these really like borderline codependent friendships because it's their quote unquote chosen family. I just think that's kind of sad and kind of weird. Like, why can't you just call them your friends? Why aren't those your friends? Whatever. Anyway,
just about making sure that you don't put something out there before you're ready, and really just surround yourself with good people. It's interesting because I look at someone like you, and I can't imagine anybody disliking you. Oh, please. Do you want to know? Ironic.
Well, I just imagine it, babe, because it just happened. She just fucking kneeled to you. Let's see that in slow motion.
And really just surrounding yourself with good people. interesting because I
That gal on the right in the red there didn't look so pleased. That was cool.
look at someone like you, and I can't imagine anybody disliking you. Oh, please. Do you know? Do you want to know, ironically, who dislikes me the most sometimes? Who?
Okay, so they're gonna we're gonna have them speak at a more comprehensible speed now. But think about when you do this. Think about when you get on that level. Like, when does that occur? One, probably not often, if ever, for most fucking adults. Two, maybe sometimes with a child. Maybe sometimes with um someone in a wheelchair. Maybe I used to have some neighbors that were little people, and the little girl was 10 or 11, but she was about the size of a her height was about the height of like a 2-year old. So in order to hear her, I would just sit down on the ground so we could have a little chat. But like, those were all special circumstances, right? And I guess one could say that this is a special circumstance because most people are never hosting a talk show or talking to someone on a talk show, right? But like, I just find this behavior very, very odd.
Myself. Me too. Oh, and but I guess you've asked me now, like you've asked me, like what I would do to combat the hate, right? Yeah. But what do you do? Okay, that's a great question. Now I started. You've been doing it a little longer than I have. Well, it's funny because when I was a kid, you starting with ET, it was the first time I was introduced to film reviews, which are basically social media. Yes. But I felt like all these reviews, and
I'm wondering, is Drew uncomfortable with him? On some level, is she uncomfortable with him, and is that why she got on the floor? Honestly, Dylan Mulvaney is, kind of the hot commodity right now. He's popular right now, right? Drew, I'm sure, does not have as many followers on TikTok as he does, right? Is she just trying super hard to remain relevant? Is she uncomfortable here and that's why she's getting on the floor? I don't know.
it could be a Charlie's Angels, it could be an ET, it could be the wedding singer, everything in between. If you read reviews, just like on social media, you are pretty much guaranteed a 50-50. Some like it, some don't. So you've got to be willing to bear down and brace for it. And I think picking your battles too. Yes. And some.
Okay, well, she's bared down there, clearly. Is this also like, honestly, this is something I would have done with my girlfriends in elementary school. We would have gotten on the floor like this. Maybe I would have done it up until, I don't know, high school. I've done this with people, actually. Okay, let me get a little bit personal here. Uh, Someone in my life passed away, and that was very upsetting. And I ended up on the floor. And this other gal, who was also very upset about this person passing, got on the floor with me because she just happened to be right there. We were talking. Okay. And again, that's an extreme circumstance that most people don't experience all the time, or likely haven't, and likely won't. But like, this is just very odd to me. I don't know what to say.
Times I think the greatest response can just be in the next joyous video or in the next win that you have, because that just goes to show that like you are continuing on, and whatever that those people are projecting onto you.
So what I was getting at with that is she actually kind of unknowingly, unconsciously kind of being condescending to him by trying to be like, oh, let's do this girl activity by getting on the floor. I don't know. It's very odd.
Actually penetrating. I couldn't agree more, because another thing that making me realize is to not carry on in spite of others. I'm sorry, I just realized that I'm sitting on the floor with Drew.
I was just gonna say something. Hold on one second. What was I gonna say? I might have forgotten it. It might be out of my mind. Oh, okay. Well, I remembered. So these transgenders, right? I don't think there's been one as popular as Dylan Mulvaney. There hasn't been one as popular as him. There hasn't been one who's, uh, you know, just at his level of fame. Okay? So, with that being said, I don't know if y'all have noticed this, but the cult of the trans cult, what they do is the trans members of the trans cult are treated as very special. They're treated as very exceptional. They're almost kind of treated like idols or gods, and I'm being serious. Okay? I was in the trans cult. I would know. But let's also remember, in something like medicine or psychology, or even like veterinary medicine, okay? If you have a patient that is exceptionally unusual, like something going on with them is just exceptionally rare, or maybe they have an exceptionally rare combination of issues. What actually happens in that case in medicine, regular medicine, in psychology, and in veterinary medicine is that patient is given special attention because they're rare, because they're whatever it is that's going on is so uncommon. People are like, oh, wow. They want to see it. They want to experience it. They want to be a part of it, right? And that's definitely what's going on with transgenderism. And that's why people are always parroting things like, oh, you're so brave. Because they don't know what else to say.
Thank you for joining me on the floor. The floor always feels safer. Get this nice. Right.
The floor always feels safer. Are you saying that because you were addicted to drugs at 10? You were in alcohol rehab at like 11? I know that's kind of a low blow on my part, but like, hello. Drew has not had an easy life. She hasn't, and people know that. Okay? So we have to take into account here the fact that a behavior like this, a reaction like this to someone, is possibly a result of her past, of her upbringing.
We have to go to a quick commercial break. I don't want to, but the good news is we'll be right back.
Christ. Okay. Well, there you have it. And I love that you see this, the comments are turned off. I gave a little dislike because I don't fucking like Dylan Mulvaney. I was saying this to a friend recently, and I'll just say it to y'all, and that's that he's a circus freak. Okay? There's not really, I mean, I'm trying to think of maybe there's a slightly less extreme way of putting that. I don't care too. He's a circus freak, right? He's this weird guy who's doing this weird shit, who's on this new stupid ass platform like TikTok that's super popular with children. Okay? So someone like that is just going to, like, okay, so I was saying he's a circus freak, he's popular, right? And people are ogling the circus freak. They're like, wow, look at the circus freak, look at this fucking weirdo, look at this guy making these stupid ass videos of him handing out tampons to random women he's never met. That novelty's gonna run out. People are going to have seen the circus freak. They're like, okay, I've seen the circus freak. He's really not talented, in all seriousness. Okay, I take that back. He kind of is. He can actually sing. He's good at singing, but like he's clearly not focusing on singing. He's clearly focusing on being on TikTok and being on talk shows and wearing various outfits and makeup. That's not it, literally okay, and being on camera. But like none of those things are you like, wow, what an amazing skill. He is actually good at singing. He can like sing opera for real. But I I don't know if I've seen a full video of him actually doing that, focusing on that. Because he's not focusing on that. He's just focusing on being like a Kardashian. He's focusing on being like a Kardashian. He's focusing on TikTok fame and wearing fake hair pieces and wearing stupid ass outfits and doing his nails and wearing heels and getting surgeries. So like how is that anyone should look up to? It's not. It's not.